What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I'm always your host, Edwin. And where do all fights start?
Round one.
You know it. Well. Did you guys catch the Tank Davis and Jake Paul post fight conference in New York City? Your boy Round One was there in attendance. And I think I did a pretty good job. I asked a pretty decent question and got both guys to engage in the conversation. And I had a great time out there, met a lot of people, and I saw how shit is done. Listen, you know that the Puerto Rican KG that I think he used to work with Fight Hub or something like that, right? Bro, I'm telling you right now, the next time I see that dude, I'm gonna walk right straight up to him and I'm gonna be like, yo, how do we do it again? Like, yo, this motherfucker done snuck in line, cut in front of the mic. Yo, he was well versed in what to do. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna follow what he was doing next time. So but you start to learn the ropes and everything, but I did everything right. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I had no idea that all the people that were standing behind me were not going to get an opportunity to speak. And I nonchalantly was going to make a conscious decision to let the next three people go in front of me because I kept thinking about what I was going to ask. So it happened kind of fast, and I was like, "Well, I'm here. I'm gonna shoot my question. I'm gonna talk." So I did. Right? What up? What up? What up? What up? Salute. Good morning. And so I just, I went with it. And what's up, Danny? And I just said, said what I came to say. And hopefully I was saying to myself, nobody asks my question and things like that. But so it kicked off, and Javante started explaining, then Jake Paul started talking, then they went back and forth. I wanted to ask another question, but I wasn't given the opportunity. There were like 25, 30 people standing in line that did not get a chance to talk. They let like the first 5, 6, 7 dudes talk, I think it was. That's it. There was like media done for all the people that stood there for all the hours. Like I got there, like it seemed like it was like fate, like destiny. Like out of all the buses I could take, I picked this one this time. I got there. I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know right from left from New York or where the Palladium Theater, and half the people in New York didn't even hear of the Palladium Theater. They like everybody that you see on the street is not from New York. You start to realize that real fast. That everybody you start talking to, they ain't not from New York. They're like tourists and shit like that too. So they don't know where the fuck they at. So I'm like, damn. And even when I talk to some of the New Yorkers, New York's so big, they don't know where things are at. So, yo, it went straight like this for me. No bullshit. I got out from the Port Authority. I said, on a map, it looks like it says take a left, right? So this is like traffic or bike map or whatever, but New York's so big, like it really, I can't like tell. So I said, okay, let me take a left. Bam, I took a left from the Port Authority. I just took a left. I start walking down. I'm looking at the lights. It's 3:00. Shit starts at 5. I said, I got some time to kill a little bit, right? I'm just walking, looking like this. Outside, I look to the left. I was like, yo, that shit says the Palladium Theater right there. I looked down. The people standing in line. I said, this ain't for Jake Paul. Take it. They said, sure enough. Bam! I was like, I'm here. That's how I found it. I was like, all right. Boom. I said, where's the line start? He said, right here. Boom. I stood right there. No, listen, no sooner that I stepped in line like this, there was nobody behind me. Nobody. I was like, yo, what's up? I was like, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I turned around. There was 25 people at least behind me. I said, nice to meet you to the 3 people in front of me like this. And boop, bam. Then like mad people started coming in, like shaking hands with another person and just standing there, acting like they're in line, like in front of you. So like all this shit, you got to get to used to, So we get in there, everything kicks off, the media, and for some reason, when they let us all in, the media, it was like a fucking free fall, right? They said media entrance right here. Everybody just jumped out of line, started running to the door. It didn't matter who was in front. So I started running to the door. So when we got there was like seats that were in front, like right up on the stage. But I quickly noticed that the lady Liz said, y'all gonna get to talk to this mic. Bro, I paid attention to the mic. Nobody told me what to do, nothing. I saw the microphone. I said, shit. I ran up. There's a seat right in front of us. I said, I'm gonna sit right here. I sat right there. No sooner they said everybody to the mic, that's exactly what everybody did. Everybody rushed it, and I took 2 steps forward and I got to get there. Like these guys cut it in front of us. So it was like 3 people in front of me or some shit. But I literally just stood up, took 2 steps, bam, was in front of the mic. So it was destiny. It was destiny. And then when I heard them be like to everybody else, no more questions, I was like, damn, bro. Y'all all stood here for how many hours? Like me, I was there like 2, 3 hours standing there. So I was like, shit. So, but it was a good learning experience and covering media, big events. Jake Paul, Tank Davis event. All the media was there. I got to meet a lot of interesting people. I talked to a lot of people. I saw Gary Antoine Russell. I saw Jermaine Ortiz. I thought something was hooking up there, but and then the reason why I think nothing happened, whatever, because they already announced. I think Gary Antoine Russell chose another opponent. He went that way, but you see, there's also fighters or 5 fighters or whatever that are going to be announced on the card. So whether or not Jermaine got a fight with him, or I thought that was the way they're going to go, maybe he's still going to be one of the fighters. They're looking for a fight for him to put him on the card. So I'm going to be looking out for that. Gary Antoine Russell, he reported that and shit like that. So this in itself, covering this event was great. And it made me think on the bus ride home. On the bus ride home, while I was coming home, I was saying to myself, uh, although a good fight, a big fight, and out of all the things I could have asked Gervonta Tank Davis or Jake Paul, I could have asked them a series of questions. I could have been like, yo, Gervonta, bro, what the hell are you doing with Jake Paul, bro? This ain't doing nothing for the division or real boxing. Like, I could have, but Tank Davis and Jake Paul gonna fight. They're sitting here promoting their fight. This fight is gonna happen regardless. Sitting there, there's a time and place to ask Tank Davis and Jake Paul these types of questions. At their post fight, I decided to ask an interesting question, but keep it boxing. I didn't want to be that asshole. I thought that there were going to be enough of them in attendance and they were going to ask these kind of questions. So I let them ask them questions. I asked the question. I felt like the beef falls on to take Davis to take care of this. Take care of what? The mission that it's been to stop Jake Paul's. Everybody, the next guy was supposed to be the dude that was gonna knock off this hype train. Am I right? No, Anderson Silva was gonna do it. No, Ben Askren was gonna do it. No, Mike Perry was gonna do it. No. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. definitely gonna knock him out. Definitely gonna do it. Tyson Fury's little brother edged him out but we weren't satisfied. What they want to do and want to happen is knock him out on a world stage. Mike Tyson couldn't do it. Well, we know. Let's leave the legend out. All right. He got his 20 mil. Okay. Get yours, Tyson. But anyway, this beef with the world and boxing, it falls on Tank Davis. So when I asked him question, that's the truth. Yo, Tank, are you gonna be our savior? Yo, Tank, my man, you stepped up to the plate. You took on the assignment. Yo, it's gonna be a big one. And Jake Paul doesn't take a fight. He know he can't win. We know Jake Paul's style, right? Tank, you're going to have to stop him. Listen, people, think about this fight. This fight is not for legacy. It's not for belts. As a matter of fact, it's not even for a boxing record. It's an exhibition. So that means that if Jake Paul wins, Tank Davis does not get a loss on his record. Remember that. If Jake Paul loses, he does not get a loss on his record, on his professional boxing record. Reason being, this is not a scheduled boxing match. This is an exhibition that is being held, a money fight, so to speak. Entertaining, but not a real boxing match by definition. Okay? So, what's the value in going to the scorecards in this fight? What's the value? Tank Davis can say he went the distance with Jake Paul, or Jake Paul saying he went the distance with a little Tank Davis 40 to 50 pounds heavier than him. What's the end game for a decision? What's at stake here is a fight. Someone needs to get stopped. And that's what you guys can do. You know why? Because with every risk, there comes a reward. There's no risk here. If you get stopped, Tank Davis, does not affect your career. Does not affect your. This is only for bragging rights. What did you see? I saw Jake Paul stop Tank Davis. Does it count? No. I saw Tank Davis stop Jake Paul. Does it count? No. Go for it. Go for it. Going to the scorecard does nothing. But both of you putting your everything on the line and trying to rock 'em, sock 'em to see who catches who. Now there's where the money is. That's where the money's at. To see one of you guys get stopped. Either way. Now, no matter what the outcome of this fight, I believe revenue generating wise, perhaps it might not do more numbers than Saul and Terrence Crawford. Perhaps this Tank Davis versus Jake Paul might not be bigger, or I don't think that Tank Davis is ever going to eclipse Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I think that what happened in that situation, he had hit his ceiling first. It's not like he worked up to it and then had one of the biggest events. He came out the gate swinging with Netflix. And that Mike Tyson, Jake Paul shit, I don't think you're going to reach those kind of numbers again. That was like a walk-off right there, right? So, and I don't think this Tank Davis, Jake Paul shit is going to kick off like that, right? But we'll see. Time will tell, right? With all these other fights being announced and the PBC wanting to give us for fight for $80 and shit, that shit's crazy. Like, I'm not paying $80 for no fight no more, man. I'm serious. I'm not doing it. I'm not. You know what time it is? And like these days, yo, Turkey Ali is doing away with that shit. These people need to get on board or get run over. However you want to do it, but people ain't gonna buy that shit, bro. Your pay yo, them days is over. They need to start over again, go back to the $25 thing, give us a few years like that, and then go back up them, because them greedy network companies, they always go up. And business strategy and business 101 motto is, if you raise the price on something, never lower it. That's business 101. You know, the consumer needs to adjust. But we've become in an era where times are changing and the consumer has become smarter and there's a lot more options out there. It used to be there was only one game in town. So if there was only one pay-per-view or one thing, you can charge that. Not anymore. Not anymore. Times have evolved. And that all that price, keep it up there, they need to like Go back, reinvent the wheel here, pay-per-view, because I'm not paying that shit. And I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything, right? But I'm telling you right now, like, nah, times have changed. Turkey's giving me a fucking fight card on Netflix with a Netflix account already that I have a subscription already. He giving me that kind of fight for free. The fuck am I gonna pay $80 for 2 fights? Have you seen the lineup on these turkey cards? Hell no. So I said all of that to say this: that I sat back on the bus ride coming back. I said to myself, all of that spells what? Doesn't spell success for me. What is the biggest fight in boxing? What could be this huge fight that would really get the people to come out? Let me tell you something right now. I think the fight to happen, the real big fight, it's not Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford rematch. Nope. It could be David the Monster Benavidez versus Terrence, maybe. You know, Davis's name is bigger than his ticket sales. His name, his interest, I think it's higher than what he's filling up arenas. With this Anthony Yard, I think Yard is bringing a lot of the fans. So David hasn't really shown that he's that 20, 30,000 fan in attendance for his main event yet kind of guy. He's not that kind of guy. He's, might be in the 12, the 10, right in there, 18, 21, depending on his opponent. Uh, so I don't think that there's a bigger fight that could be made than Naoya Inoue, the monster, versus Javante Tank Davis. Javante Tank Davis versus Naoya, the monster, Inoue. I think that would be one of the biggest fights in all of boxing. I think it would also move the needle. Naoya Inoue by himself without American appeal. He's a star out there. He's filling up the Tokyo Arena with 55,000 people. That means Japanese, Chinese, Philippine, North Korean, everybody on that side of the world, Russians, Asians, all that shit flew out to Japan. Plus movie stars, actors, they all flew out there to see this dude fight. 55,000 people for this one dude. He's basically all they had on that card. All them other Japanese dudes were local Japanese fighters, up and coming boxers, respectfully in their own right, good boxers, and they had one belt champions on the line. But 55 or 54,000 people were there to see one man, Naoya Inoue versus Luis Pantera Nari. So the dude moves the needle. And for being a bantamweight champion, he's doing better numbers, dollars, than Tank. In 2024, Tank Davis didn't make more money than Naoya Inoue. Hands down, Naoya Inoue rocked them in money. You know, he made 35,000 without Turkey. 35 million. He made 35 million, upwards 35 to 39 million without Turkey. And then he made that rest of that 6-9 or whatever it was to be the ambassador to Turkey. He made that on the back end. Remember that Naoya Inoue, the monster's fight, was in Las Vegas versus Roman Cardenas, right? And the day before, Canelo fought William Skull. And the day before that, they had that New York card where Ryan Garcia fought Rolando Ramirez, and Tio and Devin Haney fought on that card. And Naoya Inoue had to save the week in boxing. That was the non-Turkey card. All the other Turkey money and the Turkey card that he spent on all that was a dud, all of them. So Naoya Inoue, he was doing all this shit by himself, basically, in Top Rank, but by himself. Then there was like, oh, he's not appealing to the American public or whatever. He was on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Top Rank lost their network deal. Now, there is one thing to for someone to come up and say, if Naoya Inoue was a big star in America, there would be network deals shelling out money to inquire him and to put them on their network. And I say that's bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit behind that statement. Meaning, yeah, there's networks that probably went to Naoya Inoue, like big networks, streaming platforms went to him and said, yeah, we'll stream your fights. We want you on our platform, but you got to sign a 3-fight deal with us, a 4-fight deal with us. And Top Rank ain't going for that because that's not their streaming platform. Bob Arum just needed somebody to say yes for 1 fight. And Facebook was the one that did that. And then for the streaming platforms that come out and the people that come out and say, Naoya Inoue is not a big thing in America because of the fact no major streaming platform signed them. The reason why he didn't sign with them, because he didn't want to sign to their deals. And Bob Arum wasn't going to accept their deals. And the only way they were going to stream Naoya Inoue if he signed to them for a multiple fight deal. That was not happening. Not with Uncle Bob. He wasn't going to pimp out his number one star, his cash cow, right? To you and lock you into your stream. Now, my fighter when he fights, he has to fight on your streaming for this many fights. He wasn't going for that. So Uncle Bob said no. Said no. And then these guys want to report, oh, if he was so big, he would, yes, he would have. He ain't going for that shit. So stop trying to say he's not a superstar. He's just not dumb. And until they figure out Top Rank, what's going to be their main streaming platform, Uncle Bob ain't signing none of his fighters to a multiple deal, to multiple platforms. Have everything everywhere. No, I just need, listen, I just needed stream for 1 fight. That's it. Facebook said yes. Let's go. Done deal. That's it. Don't fall for that bullshit that Naoya Inoue is not popular in the United States. Because yes, the hell he is. There are a lot of fans that are waking up, realizing that yes, and this is me being critical, never talking shit about any fighter here at Round One Sports TV. Never talking shit about a fighter. Critical moments, situations, combining, comparing. Sure. That's what the fuck I got a boxing channel for. I'm supposed to do that. Right? Now, not taking shots because I feel like I got to say this because there's some fan out there that's going to say, oh, you got to put down Terrence Crawford to speak up Naoya. No, I'm not. But you got to be able to compare this shit. You got to compare him to somebody. I'm not going to compare him to Michael Jordan. I'm going to compare him to boxers. So, facts over feelings, bro, people. Okay? Facts over feelings. So, if I was like thinking like what Terrence Crawford did with the 3 divisions, all 4 belts, if I was to really break down that accolade, right, I got to admit, right, that's a fucking strong ass accolade. And at the end of the day, my boxing mind's going to tell me, I really don't care how you got there. Reality is going to come in, and the argument in me is going to say, man, you fought one guy for all 4 belts. That was a pretty easy road, wasn't it? But as far as the accolade goes, you're going to have to put Terrence Crawford in the number 1 spot for pound, right? Argumentatively, real championship, real warrior shit. Just real warrior shit. You know what? It's impressive that you got all those belts. That's impressive. How good of a warrior are you? How good of a fighter are you? How many times do you step in the ring year by year and put everything on the line? Fuck the belts, fuck the accolades. How good are you in the ring? How good do you disperse of your opponents? And what was the quality in your opponents? That's real warrior shit. We were putting the belts to a side and accolades to a side, warrior to warrior. How many times are you risking it all? If you're only fighting once a year, well, my friend, you're not taking many risks, are you? You're playing it safe. If Naoya the Monster Inoue is fighting 4 times in a calendar year, then shit, he's taking that many more chances of being dethroned. Someone coming along and taking everything away. How great of a warrior are you? How many times are you fighting as a fighter? What's your competition like? Now, you can do something impressive one time. Congratulations. But if I was to put in comparison your one achievement on one night, because you're only fighting once a year, okay? If I was to put in comparison what it took you to do on one night, rather than put 5 title defenses on all 4 belts, a record breaking 5. No other boxer in history has ever done that. In a 4-belt era, 5 times you risk it all. 5 times, not including the 2 fights it took you to become undisputed. So that's 7 fights to your 1. To your 1. And all of a sudden, your 1 is better than my 7. Hmm. As a warrior, as a fighter, sometimes we got to take in account what the fighter's actually doing. Not get lost in the moment. You know, a prisoner in the moment. Oh shit, Terrence Crawford did this, because I am a prisoner in the moment. I've been guilty of that. I'm very happy for the American. I love that he's on top right now. And he needs to get his just due. I'm with that. I'm with that. I believe that Terrence Crawford deserves everything he's getting right now. I think that what he did was remarkable, but on the same hand, there's a lot of other things I frown on Mr. Terrence Crawford. I'm still sitting here to this day, scratching my head, wondering why, to this very moment, as I speak in this microphone, why is Mr. Terrence Crawford still the 154-pound WBA world champion? Can someone explain that to me? Why? Why is he holding up the 154-pound weight division? And if you want to go back down to 154, why are you holding up the 168-pound all 4 belts? Were we better off with Saul staying with the belts? What did just happen? We jumped out of the frying pan straight into the fire. Like it got any better for the boxing world. Like what Terrence Crawford as a champion now? Oh shit. Now shit's gonna get good. No. No. You know how Americans do it. What's the American champion curse? What is it, guys? As soon as they win a belt, what's the first words out of their mouth? I'm going on vacation. You know how it is. That's how we teach our fighters. how to fuck up. We don't teach them the right way. We don't teach them the UK, the Japanese, the Chinese, them dudes way. Nah, 1 week after they be winning belts, back to the gym. That's it. Naoya Inoue took 2 weeks off and he took his wife and kids to a boxing resort. I'm just messing around. You know what I mean? But that's they those kind of fighters, they're just like always thinking getting better, getting better, etc. Americans, no sooner that they win, not even a world title, Edgar Berlanga. Bro, you're not even winning world titles. Party time. Yo, it's how the Americans, bro. We live fast, we party hard, we play hard too. But the Western way, we have to wisen up. We do. And how we teach the next wave and generation of boxers and shit. Let me catch up to you guys. What's up, Koki? How you doing, brother? In the building. How you doing? Yo, what's up? The monster fight for the pride, bro. He's going to a network deal in Japan with Amazon Prime. Yeah, but that's Japan. We already knew that. Yeah, I already knew that. And then like Amazon Prime already announced that with them, and they left America, Amazon Prime, and went out to Japan because look how the Americans are trying to play with the networks. The some of these promoters are such sharks and such snakes that I think they actually fucked it up for themselves. They don't have a schedule. They couldn't tell Amazon Prime a definitive number of how many fights they were going to have on. They were too busy smoking cigars, popping bottles. Yeah, we'll call you right back. Celebrating off this. You know how they do it, bro. Fucking, they lost Amazon Prime. Remember when Tank Davis was announcing that he was going to get an Amazon Prime deal with PBC? Did that ever work out? Didn't he say it was going to be a $250 million deal, right? And that he was going to make more money at his age than Floyd Mayweather ever made? Whatever happened with that? Amazon Prime, really? They took off and they went to Japan and they cop deals out there in Japan like that with that side of the world. The Zone cop deals with them too on some of their other fighters. All that in the Philippine deal, all that on that side. America over here, we can't get along with each other. Everybody got their hand in the pie. Everybody. They messing up, bro. You mean to tell me that Top Rank had a deal with the leading world in sports, ESPN? You know how Top Rank lost that contract, right? Because of some Callahan shit with Tyson Fury. Same reason why Tyson Fury can't come to America. And that father and son duo that the FBI most wanted are looking for. And ESPN told him, if we have any knowledge of you guys, you know, ESPN is a big global, well, they were at one time in the wide leading in sports. And they were going to tie themselves to media headlines once they came at Bob Arum and Top Rank. You know what I'm saying? And I say Bob Arum, we all say Bob Arum, but Bob Arum has not been at the helm of Top Rank for about 6-7 years. He's just the face of Top Rank, basically. He shows up to the fight. That's all he has to do. Everybody else does the work and the management, all that. He's got people doing that. Bob has basically signed the rings over to like his freaking son-in-law, some shit like that, and his son and his family. Whether or not you believe they're doing a great job, whatever. But Bob Arum is not really calling the shots. I think he'll step in sometimes. You know how he is. What the fuck is going on in here? Like, right? So he's probably got power and shit, but the day-to-day shit, Bob, he doesn't handle that anymore. He doesn't deal with none of that shit. Bob's just on planes, medicated the hell out, in flights, like, hey, showing up, like, what's today? Like, yo, that God bless that man, bro. He lives, breathes boxing, bro. I'm trying to tell you, Like it's just he's just he's been around for a long time. But Bob ain't he ain't doing that to Naoya anyway. And don't be fooled, guys, about that Naoya anyway shit. Oh, he's not big. He's not big because no deal in America is signing him. Blah blah blah. No, he is big. And every American platform out here wants to sign him. Yes, they do. But they trying to sign him for long-term deals. Because if you can lock him down long term, nobody wants to just give you a hand. Oh yeah, we'll just do one fight for you. Yeah, 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 because we like you. Fuck out of here, bro. I'll help you now if you help me. I'll film his thing now. Give me another fight with him. Bob Arum wasn't going for that. Just one fight. That's all he need. Because Bob Arum and all them top rank motherfuckers, they got to figure out what they doing with their fighters and what they going to be streaming them on. Right now, their fighters is going up on different platforms until they work it out. So that's all that's going on. But that's Bob Arum's biggest cash cow. How dare they say Naoya Inoue doesn't sell in America and that no shit. Yo, for a person that does not sell in America, right? And for people knowing very little of him, there were thousands of people that thought that when he came to Las Vegas, that was actually his first fight in America or outside of Japan. It was like his fourth or fifth fight, in fact, and he had already fought in America several times. In fact, right? So for a person that allegedly, to the untrained eye or common casual boxing fan, bro, for a person that doesn't speak English and that allegedly no one knows about, he packed the shit out of that fucking Las Vegas arena. So you mean to tell me that a guy that isn't known, according to you, that can't talk English, that's not there for the bullshit, then why? How do people know him? Why would people show? Oh, I'll tell you why. Because he's fucking exciting, and he's the truth. And when you watch him box, boy, you gonna get your money's worth. Naoya Inoue is gonna provide with you those moments that's gonna lift you out of your seat. You're gonna be like, oh shit. You're gonna hear them punches at an event. That's what I wanted to hear. When I went to a Naoya Inoue fight for the first time, I wanted to hear what everybody was talking about. And boy, were they right. You can hear them punches, bro. You can hear them. But shout out to Roman Cardenas. I heard his punches too. I heard a few of his. And a big one dropped Naoya Inoue. Shout out to Naoya Inoue getting up off the ground and really taking control of that fight, managing distance very well, and putting down the ass whooping that he did on Luis. I mean Roman Cardenas. But Roman Cardenas is rumored right now to get another big fight. You know, in December, Junto and Naoya Inoue, I think, are fighting on the same card. I think that Junto might be the co-main event to Naoya's December card, rumored to be against Alan David Picasso. I'm not sure if that fight is gonna materialize or anything. I still don't think Alan David Picasso is ready for Naoya Inoue. His team might look at him being dropped and saying, "Oh no, we can get to him. We can get to him." No, I think Naoya Inoue put himself in those situations. He knew exactly what he did. He was overextending on punches and that speaks to Naoya Inoue wanting to go for the knockout. Have you ever heard the phrase, "Don't go for the knockout because you could get knocked out"? That's what happens right there when you go looking for the knockout. And sometimes a lot of big punchers that go on like knockout streaks, they fall in love with the knockout and their power, and they just think, if I connect, that's all it's gonna take, and they start just looking for the one punch and stuff like that. It happens to big punchers a lot. It does, and you can fall in love with that. So I think that Naoya, in a way, uh, he was trying to knock out Luis Pantera Nari, the headlines, and we all know the story behind their fight, how Luis Pantera Nari was once upon a time exiled from Japan And it was Naoya the Monster Inoue that petitioned the country of Japan to allow him to come back to Japan and to be able to compete against him. And one more thing, uh, Japan government, I would like you to open up the Tokyo Arena as well. For the last time you have had a boxing match in that arena was Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas. Since then, 25, 26 years ago, whatever it was, they have never had a boxing match there since. I want you to lift the lifetime ban off of Luis Pantera Nari and open up the Tokyo Arena for me. Japan government. And the government looked at Naoya Inoue and said yes. Said yes to a Japanese kid that came from some little city in Japan there, right? Wasn't rich. Him and his dad, they lived in these little apartments. You seen him on their little videos when he first started training when he was like 19 with his dad with their makeshift equipment, and they had like ropes down from their house, and he was pushing his dad's car for his cardio and running up steps. Little Naoya Inoue. He wasn't no, and this kid, that's where boxing took him. In front of the government, asking the government to do these things, and the government siding with you and having the belief in you that you will also win for us. That you're the man for the job. You're gonna we're gonna open up the Tokyo Arena because first of all, we think you can pack it. We're not gonna open up an arena that house over 50,000 people because you're gonna bring in 14,000 people. Okay? We believe you're gonna sell that out. One. Two, you're not gonna embarrass the Japanese country. They're prideful people, very prideful people, right? You mean to tell me we don't let this dude that beat our Japanese champion not once but twice, then embarrassed us, disrespected the sport of boxing in our you know, country of Japan. So they banned Luis Pantera Nari and they exiled him. They bring him back so that you can fight him. And they had faith you were going to exact revenge. You were going to teach him manners for us. Because the guy that defeated our Japanese and walked off with the belt, later to find out he tested positive for a banned substance as well. Okay? So there was a lot behind that story. Then Naoya Inoue gets out there and Luis Pantera Nari drops him in the first round. Bro, Kodak moment, right? Really showing my age here, right? Check it out. If you can look into if they didn't have those freaking face masks, the Japanese people, because they always wearing them COVID face, I swear to God, you would have saw a bunch of Japanese people like this. That's all you would have saw. When Luis Pantera Nari hit the monster Naoya Inoue and dropped him, when he spun around and his body just face planted, he looked like he didn't know how to fall. Like he was like, boom, and his face, body, he looked like a mugshot on the ground. Like as soon as he hit the ground, you could edge him out. He was like, boom, and then he got up and was like, how the fuck did I get down here? And then he looked and he was like, did you just knock me down for the first time in my life? Then he looked at the referee and he started counting. He said, okay. He said, I see what happened. And he got up. He ain't never been in that. Listen, the entire Japanese government and everybody that sanctioned this shit, their assholes just went like this. It sucked in. They were like, yo, bro, I can tell you right now, they was like, no, we did not let this dude back into our country to smash on our guy again, run off with the belt. Yo, what did we do? Like, thank God. Naoya Inoue is who he is, man. He is battle tested, truly battle tested. He came through for them, man. And he was just like, yo, this is not going down like this. I'm gonna rewrite history. Like the reporters and everything were already like writing down. They were like going through the camera, looking at the knockdown, like, yeah, we're gonna put this on the front page. Like, yeah, he's gonna lose this fight. And he has a magic eraser, Naoya Inoue. He said, that's not the story you're gonna tell. I'm gonna tell you the story. You're gonna tell this story that I dropped him 3 times and then brutally knocked him out. So the knockout that I knocked him out with is gonna be nominated for knockout of the year. It might not win knockout of the year, but you're gonna be a nomination. So they're gonna show your shit on a big tumbletron, him knocking you out brutally, like poof, poof, like that. That's what I'm gonna do for you. So yeah, man. Yo, round one, ready. Give me my credit, bro. I said this last year. This is the biggest fight in boxing. Yeah, country against country, knockout against knockout king. I'm a knockout. Yeah, yo, listen, I got to agree. It is one of like it would be a monumental fight, like a fight of if you're really a hardcore fan, hardcore boxing fan, you know the smaller weight classes never disappoint. They don't run, they don't clinch. They always moving forward and banging it out. Bang bang boogie says. Yes, them lower weight divisions, man, they're like lightning in a bottle, guys. You know, um, and they're very entertaining. The problem with boxing, and I'll always say this to remind you guys why we have glamour divisions in boxing. And if you're new or a casual fan, this is an educational boxing so that you'll know when people say glamour divisions and what they are. The glamour divisions start at 130, 130, 135, 140, 147, sometimes 154. 160, the middleweight, used to be very hot one time. That's when Marvelous Hagler and guys like that were in it. And like uh um uh Cinnamon here, Canelo Alvarez, when he was like in there and stuff, it was hot, but not really a glamour division right now. Okay, 154 really heating up right now sometimes, but it's usually from 147 to 130 and one glamour division in particular, the heavyweight division. Okay, what makes them a glamour division in the first place? Okay, what happens is you got the guys from 105. Boxing starts for the men at 105. These are very small men at 105, very short in stature. What you're going to see there is that every guy in 105, 108, 112, 115, like that, 118, 122, these guys are fast as hell, very technical, very skilled, and they got huge gas tanks. They can fight like that from the first round to the 12th round. And it's usually sometime bloody messes. And it's just like boom, 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 boom. Really skilled. Okay. No power. No power. All speed. All like skill. Not no power. From the heavyweight division, the heavyweight, you got all power. Don't blink because any punch can change the fight. At heavyweight, at that size, any fight, any punch can change the night. But not a lot of speed, not a lot of skill, right? Some heavyweights, pretty skillful. You know, you got Usyk, came up from the cruiserweight. Okay, skilled. not, you know what I'm saying? You're fastest person, right? But power, right? So what happens when speed meets power at the right weight in the perfect balance? 130, 135, 140, 147. Boom. That's where power and speed meet in those divisions. That's where the best fighters in the world usually are. That's when you're gonna get guys that are like Pernell Whitaker fast, like right, and can knock you out. And those are where the best fighters in the world come from, and that's why the most boxing people watch those guys because they're big enough. Their size, and they're not so big that they're slow, and they're not so small that they're not powerful. Yeah, and that's what makes the glamour divisions. But sometimes, every now and then, comes a special fighter that can bend the needle. He can bend the needle so much that he'll be like one division under the glamour divisions, and he'll make that division popular. Naoya Inoue. If he moves up to 126 pounds, he has the power, the star power, to bring the 130 glamour division to him. Guys that drop down from 130 to 126 to fight him. Fuck, they right, they will. But I'm starting to see that Naoya Inoue might not be that small. In fact, we're seeing that Scooter, Stephen Kubo Fulton, is up there 130 fighting O'Shaughnessy Foster. I saw him face off. I was like, Scooter don't look that small to O'Shaughnessy Foster. And I thought O'Shaughnessy Foster was big. And I was like, wait a minute. And then I went back to the Naoya Inoue, saw them on stage when Naoya Inoue was all skinny in the face and the weigh-in, and he looked like a madman, and he wanted just to get at Scooter. And he was like, Naoya was like that on him and shit. He was like looking into his face. So I was like, yo, like, he didn't look small to Scooter, Naoya Inoue. And in the ring, he didn't look small. So I was like, hold up. Hold the fuck up. If Stephen Kubo Fulton is up there at 130, maybe, but Stephen Kubo Fulton didn't start his career at fucking 108 neither. Like Naoya Inoue did. Naoya Inoue is already at his fifth weight division. He got belts in 4, but he bypassed one weight division, so he's actually there. So Naoya Inoue might be maxed out. It's a different situation rather than Stephen Kubo Fulton starting his career there and moving up a few weight divisions. That's a different thing. Stephen Kubo started, I think he started at 122, then moved up to 126, and now going up to 130. That's different than Naoya Inoue starting at 108 and already at 122 and asking him to go up. It's a different. Naoya Inoue's body type might not hold that massive, you know what I'm saying, amount of weight. Other fighters are different. Tank Davis can do that. I'm not sure about Naoya Inoue, but what I do know is the second I saw Scooter go up to 130, I said, wait a minute. Didn't Scooter fight Naoya Inoue at 122? And when they fought, Scooter didn't look like he was bigger than Naoya Inoue at all. And nothing. Not in height, not in size, nothing. And Scooter managed to be what now. I had Scooter in the fight. I'm starting to change my mind. I'll be like, oh, what are you talking about, man? Shakashi O'Shaughnessy Foster is gonna fuck up Scooter, right? I like Scooter because he's a Philly guy. He's a Philly guy, so I like Scooter a lot, man. Steven. And I was gonna take the Philly guy. I was like, man, fuck that. I'm going with Philly. I'm rocking with Philly, right? Uh, O'Shaughnessy Foster got this mean inside right. It's so slick. It's so fast. He's been throwing that shot for years. It scares me. That scares me. Scooter is sometimes he has to get in rhythm, and you can see in some fights he has to start to try to get his confidence up. Uh he resets a lot. Scooter, he resets a lot. Um, and O'Shaughnessy Foster, when he wants to, sometimes he can be kind of like, I can view him like fighting to the level of his competition sometimes, O'Shaughnessy Foster. Sometimes he doesn't fight that great. Sometimes I feel like he lets off the gas at like wrong times. He's like clearly whooping this dude's ass. Then all of a sudden he like allows the guy to come back in the fight. And then in one fight, he was getting his ass whooped and he came back and stopped the guy. He needed that stoppage. So and it was because of that's what set it all off. He's got this nice, it's fast and it's slick, and he knows when to throw it. He can hit a person on an angle with it. He can hit him walking forward with it. He can hit him coming out the break with it. Everything. That O'Shaughnessy Foster, that's how he won his belt. That's his bread and butter. That shot. It comes in real like this. It kind of like loops and in, and it's sharp. It's sharp. And see, Scooter has this 1-2 in the step. He's not a power puncher, so he's not looking to sit down on his punches. Scooter is looking for combinations. When you look for combinations, you tend to sit there in the pocket and allow the combination to develop. In the development of Scooter's combination, that straight right is going to hit him. That's how O'Shaughnessy Foster catches everybody in transition in the combination with that shot. And Scooter relies on combinations. Scooter's not a knockout artist. He's not a knockout puncher. So the only way he's going to win, and he wins all his fights, is in combinations and putting a beating on his opponent round by round. And with fighting fucking around with O'Shaughnessy Foster, O'Shaughnessy might stop Scooter, man. I don't know, man. I like Scooter, man. I want Scooter to win. I'm rocking with Scooter too, because it also makes the win over Scooter with Naoya Inoue that much better. The more that Scooter wins, the better the win it is for Naoya, because Scooter can look back and say, all right, I lost to Naoya Inoue, but possibly I lost to one of the greatest lower weight division fighters of all time. It took that guy right there, the best of all of us. That's the only guy I lost to. So shit, I must be the second best. I'm in there somewhere. Because since I lost to him, I ain't lost since. And I've become a multiple division world champion. That would say a lot about Naoya Inoue. Because remember, Scooter didn't win a round against him. Jesus Christ. Not one round. Naoya Inoue came into that fight like if he was the champion. Remember, guys, Naoya Inoue fought against Stephen Kubo Fulton. He had no belts. Scooter had the belts. Yeah, I couldn't tell. The kind of beating he was taking. Man, listen, I couldn't tell. Yo, Stan, yeah, I look good at the press conference. Hey, yo, Stanley, your fucking uncle is here. Yeah, he wants to talk to you right now. Hold up, I'm going to get him right now. Your uncle, he wants to say something to you. Hold on. Stan, don't go nowhere. Hold on. I'm going to get him. Hey, is this thing on? Is this thing on over here? Huh? Is this thing on? Listen. Hey, Stan. Hey, buddy. Hey, let me talk to you right now, buddy. Hey, I heard you like to talk boxing. Well, let's talk boxing, buddy. Listen, listen. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. 2 days ago. So I was at the press conference and I was looking for Gervonta Davis because I wanted to know if he knew someone in the hairstyling world, and I believe he does. He does know somebody. So I was looking for him, but he didn't give me any answers. I didn't know what he said. Okay? But anyway, let's talk boxing. Listen, let me tell you something. Stan, my man, I had a blast. Me and your dad, we went down there. I had to stand outside because I didn't have credentials. I couldn't get in the building. But your dad went in there. He looked amazing. He went up to the microphone, very confident, right? He took over the show. I think he had the best questioning. Round one had the best questioning out of all the people there. Okay. All right. While I was outside, okay, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I might have been talking to the chicas. Okay. But that's okay because your dad was in there taking care of business while your uncle was outside. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of the car. Okay. I had to make sure nobody made it off with the car. But listen, Stan, we went out there. Your dad, he crushed it. So listen, what I gotta say right now is we got a lot of boxing coming up. David the Monster Benavides, Yard. We got a lot of boxing. Which one of these matches out here is your match? Listen, talk to me, people. Talk to me. Talk about if you want to talk boxing, okay? Uncle Left Check Hook right here. Okay. You can call me Juan. Okay. Coach Juan. Left Check Hook is my field analyst reporter name. Okay. 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 Because whenever you see two Latin guys out in the street fighting, how do you know that it's two Latin guys? Tell me. How do you identify two Latin guys fighting in the middle of the street? You know why? Because they're always fighting Juan on Juan. Okay? 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 Because you know it's a fair fight. All right? So, listen, guys, if you ever want to talk boxing, I'll come up here and I'll talk boxing with you. But now I'm going to let round one come up here and take over. Okay? But listen, I've been watching boxing since you've been in diapers. Okay? I know everything about boxing. Okay? And Coach Juan here, huh? He could tell you and show you a thing or two. Okay? And if you ever come down to my gym, I will show you the Coach Juan boxing technique. It is a style that I have created myself. It is very effective and it could save your life. And it goes like this. Okay? And then you just grab him by the throat, and then it could save your life out in the street. So listen to Coach Juan. I could save your life. I'm out. There you have it, folks. It's Coach Juan, you know what I'm saying, and his boxing techniques. He's crazy, little unorthodox, but you know what I'm saying? It could save your life, according to him. Don't try that shit. Just run, okay? Don't do any of that shit. I advise you not to listen to him at all, okay? Yeah. Um, listen. Let me tell you, man. That's my disguise when I go to talk about Tank Davis. You gotta wear a disguise nowadays. It's kind of hard to be his fan, but I like the dude a lot, man. Tank, you know, he's exciting and shit, man. And I don't think he's done in sports. I actually think he's one half of one of the biggest fights we possibly can have in the sport of boxing. I really think so. People are talking about that there's no big fights now that Terrence and Canelo fought. I disagree because there's a lot of these young men and women that are coming up that are definitely can, Abdullah Masons of the world, the Camille Motins. There's a lot of young talent, and Keyshawn Davis right now is on the back burner because of his fiasco. But Top Rank hasn't forgot about him, and the world hasn't forgot about Keyshawn Davis. Then you got the Davis brothers as well. I'm not sure too much how they're gonna be, but I know that, and then you got the Vargas brothers, the Vargas clan, and Emilio Del General. He's gonna be in the mix too as well. There's gonna be a lot of potential big fights brewing, depending on who wins and who loses and who, when all the smoke clears, who's on top once again. Then we'll have big fights again in the sport of boxing. But as of right now, for all the people that we have, what two fighters can you think of right now that would say that's the biggest fight to have? Like right now, what two fighters can we say right now? I want to see that guy and that guy. Honey, we're busting out the barbecue. We're inviting the neighbors. We're having a boxing party. I might have to charge $5, $10 an entry now because this is the fucking fight to have. What two fighters can do that for you? Are you going to throw a fight party for Sebastian Fundora and one-time Keith Thurman? Are you going to put a fight party for that? Are you going to put a fight party for who? For David the Monster Benavides and Yard? You're going to invite the family over. The Penis coming out. Roast con pollo. Bust it out, dog. Grandma, get in the kitchen. Start cooking. Who are you doing that for? It won't be Tank for Jake Paul, that's for sure. Bang said, well, I'm trying to tell you guys, there is no fight that I can think of, or no fight. And for as much as all these people yell out these names like this guy's a superstar, that guy's a superstar, shit, to tell you the truth, the biggest fight I'm actually waiting for all the shit this kid gets scrutiny for, Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. If I'm being honest, for all the shit they talk about Devin Haney, yeah, he's boring, he's this, he's that. To tell you the truth, that's the fight I'm waiting for. Canelo and Terrence is over with. That's gone. That's yesterday's news now. And Naoya Inoue is fighting who? Alan David Picasso. Yo, Naoya, you're my man and everything. I fucking love you. But Alan David Picasso's not moving the needle for me. No, he's not, bro. Y'all need to, like, Top Rank needs to work on some shit. Like, why are you fighting that guy? Like, I don't know, man. I mean, making a statement like this, Naoya Inoue, I get it, bro. You fucking stomped out everybody in the division. You definitively beat all the number one guys. When we go back in the history books, it's legitimately going to say that you walked into the 122 right away on a tune-up fight. You didn't take a tune-up fight. You know what you did for a tune-up fight? You took the undefeated unified world champion Stephen Kubo Fulton, and you use him as a stepping ladder, as a tune-up to come into the new weight division. Then on your very next fight, you fought the next unified world champion to unify all four belts in only 6 months. Then you went and challenged every number one fighter in the division, meaning the IBF number one, the WBC number one, the WBA number one, and the WBO number one fighter. You went and challenged all the number one fighters. You wiped out the entire division. Naoya Inoue, bro, your point is made, bro. Leave the 122-pound weight division alone. They're fucking scared of you, man. We get it, bro. You beat everybody. There's no one left. Beating Alan David Picasso really doesn't. Well, it solidifies your defenses on all four belts. And yeah, I can't say that's something to look down on. You really want to put a number up there so when the next person comes, they got a lot of work to catch up to you. yeah. So in that sense, yeah, Naoya, in a way, yeah. Who am I to tell you how to be a champion? You know, respect, do you, right? But bro, no one's beating you at 122, Naoya, in a way. So I one okay, okay. It makes sense what you're doing, fighting Alan David Picasso. It makes sense. He's the stepping stone, the sacrificial lamb to the Junto fight. David Allen Picasso keeps you in the division, keeps you active, keeps you training. So for the mega fight with Junto, so I see why you're doing it. I see why you're doing it. Okay, but that fight's not doing it for me. As things get to heating up and we close out the year, I'm sorry, closing out the year, the biggest fight for me is fucking Devin Haney, Brian Norman Jr. So far. Well, yo, we got some interesting fights. That one time Keith Thurman versus Sebastian the Towering Inferno. Interesting fight card. There are some good fights on that card, right there. So in the David the Monster Benavidez versus Yard, there's good fights on that card. You got Subia Matias still fighting, working it out. There's some good fights coming up. So I can't knock off Subia because any Subia Matias fight is a fucking fight. All right. You know, when I go watch a Subia Matias fight, I know I'm about to see some a good fight. I'm gonna see brutality at its highest level. You know, um, Xander Zayas has a, but I don't think Xander's gonna fight anybody. You know, like not for the first title defense. So, well, I do want to see. I mean, look, like I said, the good fights on that card because I do want to see Abdullah Mason beat the shit out of Sam Notes. You know, I want to see that, and that's another young star that can come up and do some shit. Abdullah Mason. So we have some good fights still. Out of all the fights I just mentioned, ironically, Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney fight is the fight I want to see. Because I think Brian Norman Jr. will break Devin Haney out of that shell. That kind of aggression, he's going to have to fight. Brian Norman Jr. is a bit flat footed, but when he wants to, he can move. See, the reason why Brian Norman Jr. hasn't moved, he hasn't had to. You haven't really done anything to him. And truth be told, the best torque and the best you're going to get out of your punches is when you're stable, stationary, you know, not bouncing around. You're only getting so much. Uh, if you have great technique, then you can create that snap, but not everybody can do that. But the way that Brian Norman Jr. fights, he really sits down on his punches and he gets that snap. He throws from his shoulder and he really gets that pop onto it. A moving fighter like Devin Haney is going to move, but Devin Haney's going to soon realize he's in some shit. He can move, but he's going to have some offense in order to win this fight. He's got to be thinking in the back of his mind, there's a lot of hate or haters on Devin Haney. They're not going to make the night any easier for him. They're not going to baby him this time. Because legitimately, Devin Haney's going to be coming into this fight, not the champion. And we all know in the boxing world, if you do not definitively beat the champion, they will give what we consider in the boxing world a champion's nod. Meaning, what benefits is it to be a world champion if the fight's close and they don't give me the call? What benefits is it to be a champion? You know, in a close one, I stay champion. You didn't do enough. You did good, just not enough. You got to take that belt away from the champion. It makes the fighter fight just that much better, you know? Tio knew that going into those last two championship rounds against Loma. Perfect example when the fighter did not let up in a championship fight. And he took it from Loma. Another example, when you let off the gas and you were winning in a fight, right? Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad. Oscar De La Hoya ran for those last 3 rounds and gave that fight up to Felix Trinidad. Yeah. Incentive to fight. So if you're going to go in there and you're going to fight, you're going to have to beat the champion. In Abdullah Mason's situation, ironically enough, they're fighting for a vacant title, which once upon a time was Keyshawn Davis's WBO title. So they're going to fight for that title. So respectfully, it's whoever wins. You know, so Abdullah Mason, I wanna see that kid become a world champion. He's a very young kid. I think that he has a bright future ahead of him. And then, what's that gonna say about Bruce Carrington? Bruce Carrington is all of like 28 years old, bro. You've been in the game this long, and the kids that are coming up behind you are becoming world champions, and the kids that came up with you are becoming world champion, and they're younger than you. Bruce Carrington and Xander Zion have been fighting on so many top ranked New York cards on ESPN as they were coming up through their career. And Xander's a champion. Abdullah Mason's about to become a champion. Keyshawn Davis became a champion. And here you are, Bruce Carrington, 28 years old, leading the way in age on all of these guys. And you have never competed for a world championship. You have an interim belt to a very messy belt. They're just giving away that 126 WBC world champion. Everyone has it. As a matter of fact, I'm the Pacific WBC 126-pound champion. Bang Bang's the North Pacific 126 behind WBC world champion. And Stanley is the Lake Erie WBC world champion at 126. Everybody on the planet has a belt because according to the boxing record, right, 3 people have ties to that one belt. Stephen Kubo Fulton is considered the real champion at 126 for the WBC. Raymond Vargas, Ray Vargas is the champion in recess, and Bruce Carrington is the interim champion to the same exact belt. It's bullshit. Ray Vargas is walking around saying, no, I'm the champion in recess, which means that I'm the original champion. Bruce Carrington is, Stephen Kubo Fulton is like, no, I fought for the belt in the ring, so that makes me the real champion. And Bruce Carrington is saying, I'm the interim champion, and neither of you guys fought me, so that makes me the real champion. We're the real champion. Please stand up. Fuck out of here. Yo, that belt in that division right there for the WBC, that's real messy work. And somebody tell me why Terrence Crawford is still the 154-pound champion. Why is he still the WBA 154-pound champion? He has all 4 belts at 168. That illegally, they shouldn't allow that. That's more than 2 weight divisions up. If it was 1, maybe keep it, but 2 weight divisions, no. And then they say that these boxers are, they're good for the sport or whatever. Terrence Crawford is holding up 2 weight divisions right now. 2. He has no fight schedule for 168, and he has no fight schedule for 154. That WBA title 154, there's a person that's been working 10 years in their boxing career, waking up every day in the WBA ranking, wanting their shot at that belt. They're not going to get a shot because Terrence Crawford has not vacated it. and he ain't gonna do nothing with it. Why not give another young man an opportunity to change their stars? Terrence, you seeing how hard it is just to fight for one world title. Why would you hold up a division you have no intentions on going back? You never was going to defend the 147s. You never defended the 154. The one thing that Terrence Crawford is going to go down in history for is not a lot of title defenses where he was considered to be the best champions. The only belt he really defended was that WBO World Championship. Now, you can say that Terrence Crawford had a good run with the WBO at 147. Yeah, he did. But that was due in part because he was only there chasing one guy, Errol Spence Jr. Had Errol Spence Jr. never flipped his car, Terrence doesn't get that many title defenses on that WBO. No, he doesn't. But maybe he defends all four belts and stays in the weight division. You see how one person's action can affect another person's career? Errol Spence Jr. flipped his car, and that affected Terrence Crawford for 4 years. That put a hold on Terrence Crawford's career. What he did to his career rippled effect to yours. So Terrence Crawford, what you do with that belt ripples effects to other fighters. That guy could have been a champion at 154 for the WBA a month ago while you were training for Saul Canelo Alvarez. They could have been champion 4 months ago. And now that you got all the belts at 168, you still haven't relinquished that, the rights to the 154? So come back down to the 154 and relinquish all the belts at 168. It's not like relinquishing the belts take away your record. That's a done deal. No one can take that away from you. But if you were to throw all those belts back into the pawn at 168, you would wake up the 168 because the 168 pound weight division is a ghost town and has been for years because there's only been one man controlling it. And that goes to show you to all the people that have this crazy theory of saying, let's go back to a one belt era. Yeah, one belt era. Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. That's one belt, technically. How's that working out for you? The division is fucking dead. There's no champions. Only one. Whenever he gets sick or wants to go on vacation, the whole division's held up. Oh, you guys want to go to one belt era? Doesn't work. It's too many fighters. Doesn't work. All right. What are all right? Naoya Espinosa will be a good fight. That would be a great fight. I hear Espinosa wants to move up to 130 too. Rumors were circulating that he can't like make this weight at 126 anymore. Great fight right there. Espinosa would be a great fight. Nick Ball would be a good fight because I know he wants the smoke with Naoya Inoue. And I know that's a guaranteed fight because Nick Ball's been waiting for Naoya Inoue. He's been fighting common opponents that were scheduled to fight Naoya Inoue but never showed up. Sam Goodman, which took Nick Ball the distance. He almost beat Nick Ball. And that guy, you couldn't pay him to get in the ring with Naoya Inoue. Seriously, he bashed his face against Split not once but twice. 2 cuts. Come on, guys. We know what happened there. All right? So he was scared to death of Naoya Inoue. He was scared to death of him. So, yeah. Absolutely. So, guys, yeah, I got in my morning workout already. I had to get in my morning workout. I'm gonna go get a little jogging in right now before I get to the gym tonight. See if I get some sparring in tonight. Better sparring too, again, for myself. I got to do better in sparring and shit. So, I have just a level of expectation for myself to get that much better each week. So as we get closer to the fight, my fight is in like 45 days. So we're getting closer to my fight. So we're already what in where we at September 24th. My brother's birthday. Shout out to my brother Jose. His birthday was September 22nd. Unfortunately, your boy was in New York City September 22nd, covering the Jake Paul and Tank Davis fight. Now, here were my this, for I love my brother and everything, but it's either watch you sit there and blow out your fucking candles, you're getting old. Happy birthday, old fart, right? Or go see Tank Davis and Jay Paul that I ain't never seen in person. Listen, if you're alive next year, we'll celebrate one. I'm out. Pew! I'll send you a postcard. That's it. You know what I mean? I didn't send you happy birthday your whole fucking life. I'm done with that right now. I'll see you next year, bro. So I got on the bus and I was like, yo, technology's a motherfucker. Here's a cake, happy face emoji, balloon emoji, gift emoji. Boop, send it. Done deal. On my way to New York. So on my brother's birthday, I was in New York covering Jake Paul and Tank Davis. Yeah. So yeah, man. Listen, guys. Um, we have a lot of great boxing, and I want to go on tonight because I haven't been on my show recently. I was gonna go on a boxing voice, but I want to come on my show too and do my thing and shit. So, a lot of sacrifices always made in this thing and collaborations and understanding what collaborations is. A lot of people like, yo, why didn't you say round one or something? Like on the boxing voice, they know me as round one. So I was in my right to be like, yo, this is round one representing the boxing voice. But the lady Liz, she messed me up. She said, when you get up to the mic, say your name and who you representing. And I with respect, I got who got me to the dance. Ness got me this invitation to this. So in collaboration, yeah, I fucks with you because that's how you network. You know what I'm saying? You rub elbows with one, you know, 57,000 on most valuable promotion saw me, and Netflix had like another 40,000, and then whatever other places streamed it. So I can guarantee over 100,000 people saw me. I'll take it. I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week, you know. And when they looked me up, I posted it on my channel too as well, my bit of the interview, so getting exposure and everything, it's not always I think that I'm going to go and interview something and wake up with 2 million subscribers. It doesn't work that way. It's slow steps and networking and getting in where you fit in here, and then knowing when to branch out and do your own thing. You're always really doing your own thing because we always have our intention and mind wanting to be that next thing, but understanding that the plate is big enough for all of us, and what Ness does for a lot of us and shit is pretty cool because he's established. He doesn't need any of us. Ness, he don't need me. He don't need none of us. That man is established. So I recognize, the things that he does and things like that until I get on my feet and do it for my brand. So fight fans, listen, what's up? Hope you really take take them punches, G. I hope you ready to take them OC punches. Bro, listen, bring it. Bring it. I hope he's ready for this. Cause I got for OC, I got a little lightning, a little thunder right here. You know what I'm saying? He wants a little lightning, a little thunder. Huh? 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 I got a little Cassius Clay right here, a little Mike Tyson right here. You know what I'm saying? All right. You know what I mean? So I hope he can take these. You know what I mean? But don't take over the show. Yo, listen, nah, like, like it's all like networking. It's cool as shit. Like I get to meet a lot of people with Ness and shit, and I've met a lot of people on his platform and shit. So it's cool. It's cool as shit. Like what he does and shit because I've reached out before in the past to like other like streaming platforms and shit. They want to charge me money. and shit for coming on the show and shit. I remember Ness saying they wanted to charge him like 2 grand and shit when he wanted to first start. So in this business, nobody ever wants to show you the recipe or the sauce of how to become successful. So the platform that he shares is pretty cool. And I like everybody that I meet up there too as well. So it is what it is. My guys even go from my channel to over there to watch me and vice versa, so and that's how it goes. But yeah, um I definitely always like talking boxing, and you guys know that I'm locked in right now, on this training because my next assignment, what I'm saying, is OC the boss. You know what I mean? I plan on today going down to my to the gym. Hopefully I stop one of my sparring partners, and then the next stop is going to be OC the boss. You're done, son. You're done. It's over with. Yo, listen, I love you, man. Listen, guys, I'm gonna hop on tonight. I gotta go get another little session in. I gotta stay on point because OC's training, and I just can't let him get me. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like I've been doing everything the best. So, uh, getting old is for the birds, man. Oh, you wake up the next day sore as fuck, but no complaints. No complaints, no bitching out of me. I'm just gonna do what I gotta do. This now it's like really time to lock in these last few weeks. Like I really gotta step it up, me and my team and shit. So yeah, that's what I plan on doing, guys. So fight fans, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports TV. You guys are always the best. Don't forget to give these videos a like and tell me, guys, what big fight is there besides Tank Davis and Naoya the Monster anyway? What fight could you think of? Or two fighters that you can put together? I don't think Tank Davis and Shakur would do better numbers than Naoya anyway and Tank. Let me tell you people something right now. You take Tank Davis and you throw him out in Japan, or you take Tank Davis and you put him in New York with Naoya anyway, you take Tank Davis and you put him in Las Vegas, you're going to do some big numbers because Japan will travel. Those people will travel, and he's got his own crowd, not like Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson can't, he doesn't got that kind of following. So Shakur can't do it. Shakur, Tio and Tio and Tank can't do it. A rematch between Tank and Ryan Garcia, I don't think that, maybe. Nah, I don't know. Ryan lost. Tank's not really, I don't know. I don't think that'll do big numbers neither. Ironically, I don't even think Terrence Crawford versus David the Monster Benavidez, Demetrius Bivol, I don't think that'll do big numbers. Not like Tank and Naoya Inoue. Hell no. Hell no. Tank and Naoya Inoue would fucking break the needle, bro. I guarantee it. That would be a mega fight. That's like King Kong fighting Godzilla in New York City. That would be fucking epic. An epic fight, bro. Yup. So fight fans, love you guys. Yo, that would be a great concept, right? They had Tank on the Empire State Building. Naoya Inoue coming across seas like Godzilla. Yo, that'd be dope as shit, bro. Yo, listen, there's so many things you can do with this fight, bro. It would be freaking huge, bro. Bro, I'd have to rob my grandmother to get some money to get to that fight. Come on, grandma, break yourself. I gotta get to this fight. Yo, she fucked me up. Take out the switch. Oh shit, grandma, I forgot who I was messing with. Yo, yo. So listen, fight fans, love you guys. I'm on to the next one. Check out your DM. Okay, all right. I hope bang those videos I sent you were good. I seen you tagged or whatever, or did something in the videos or some shit. All right, fight fans.